Welcome to Coaching in Session.
where limits end and growth begins.
Hosted by Michael Rearden.
This is your space to challenge the ordinary
Unlock your potential
and step boldly into your next chapter.
Your mindset journey continues.
Just the other day, I saw a clip. It was an older clip of Tony Robbins when he was speaking to a young lady. And the young lady, she might have been maybe in her 30s, where she was talking about how she was a diva, or she was like the love of her father's life and the princess to be, right? And what was happening was that in her relationship, she was not doing all the things a wife should do. She was passively giving out her love on occasion. In love, I'm not talking about just sexual. I'm talking about she chose when she would love her husband, meaning, oh, you made me feel this way, so I'm not going to love you. She did it almost unconsciously. When she has kids, she loves her kids. She kind of likes her husband still, right? But it was because of her past that made her think in this way from her father's love. And you might ask, well, should a father love his daughter? And of course he should. But I believe there's a right and a wrong way to do it. Now, this episode is not so much of the idea of a parent's love for their child, but more so of the mindset that happens, that occurs when we're developing. Now, when we're young, we typically are going to be in line or in par with what our parents are instilling us, or the people around us are instilling within us. And that alignment is going to be true for our identity for many years or several years until we start to either say, let me see if what I know is true, or let me find something new. Now, whatever the mindset you choose is going to be up to the individual. But what I can say is that sometimes down the road, we think we're doing everything right. We're doing everything perfect because this is what we thought. We are going down this path of like, this is the path I was put on. You know, it's funny going back to that video. And the main reason I say this is because when Tony was talking to this girl, her mood changed from happy and diva or boss babe to someone who was remorseful and now fully understanding the repercussions to her actions or inactions. And Tony went on to say that if I was coaching this gentleman, I would tell him to leave you. And when he said that to the girl, you can see something click within her, like sorrow or despair. She was like, wait, what? You're saying that I'm the problem? And he's not saying that she was the sole problem, but the mindset or the way that she was living was in alignment with what is modern or what was old. She wasn't living in her current circumstances. So I said, what can I do to help people understand their alignment? What can I do to help people understand themselves? We've been talking about identity for a while on the podcast. It's big today. We are going to be talking about identity in the episodes to come. It's big still because identity is one of those complex things that we can change on a whim. But just because we want to change it, it doesn't mean it happens overnight. Think of a person who's trying to give themselves this identity of being a pro basketball player or a rapper. Yeah, sure, you can write a rap and go chicka, chicka, chicka and start rapping, or you can go to the courts and start playing basketball. But if you're not consistent in that effort, are you just someone who played basketball for a day, or someone who made a rap song or wrote a couple lyrics down? That has not become your identity. And oftentimes people, they start things and they don't finish is because it's not in alignment with themselves. And going back to that same girl, maybe she wasn't in alignment with herself or the situation. And that's why her marriage is off the tracks, is off the rails. I wrote this article, The Power of Alignment, How Your Daily Actions Reveal Who You Truly Are. In this article, I'm talking about the reality of your identity rather than just what you think is you, right? Now, when we're looking at this article, right, there's multiple steps, and I encourage you to check out the article link. It's right down below. You want to understand that there's going to be a process to becoming aligned, but just because the process is what it is on the blog, it doesn't mean that you can't move things in accordance to you. Because again, when I'm working with people, I wish I can say, all right, this is how it works from A to B to C, and we go all the way to Z and we make sure everything is covered. Some people, you got to do this and you got to go do that. And there's a lot of jumping around because everyone is different. And it's so funny because you have some of the stubbornest people in the world. And I raise my hand first. I am stubborn. I know this. But a lot of my clients are stubborn as well. And it's just like, why are you so stubborn? It's just our personality. It is not to say that they're not aligned in what they're doing, but sometimes they just get so caught up that the things that they're doing, and the things that they're feeling is not going to be helpful long term, is basically what I'm trying to say. Now, the step one is we want to align with our standards, right? We want to get honest with ourselves, right? What type of life we want to live, what type of goals we want to accomplish, like what type of surface do we want to reside on? The surface can be many things, right? We can talk about emotional states. We want to be depressed, right? We stay always super low, super angry, super sad. Maybe we want to just kind of be comfortable, always the same temperature on the thermostat, nothing hot, nothing spicy. We don't like spicy food. When they ask us at the Indian restaurant, hey, what level of spice? You say none. So then why are you even there? Because it's all about the flavor and it's all about the spice. And it's so funny because I wasn't a huge spicy guy, like a lot of spices and things like that. Even though I'm Puerto Rican, we don't really put like spicy foods, like we're not Mexican. And when I came to Texas, there's a huge Indian culture here or population here where they really want people to experience their food. It's not just, hey, we have an Indian restaurant because this is what we're supposed to do. It was like, we have a culture and we would like to share it with you. Mexicans, the same thing. They put spicy, picante on their tacos and things like that. And now I can't have an Indian dish or a taco dish without the spice, right? I need that, right? So again, in the beginning, I was going this way, right? I was aligned, I'm on the tracks, I'm doing what I thought I had to do. But then beneath it all, I said, I'm missing something else. I'm missing so much more. And this is what happens when people, they get a career, they get this idea of a job, and they are on this track, right? They're doing everything they have to do. But the big issue is that they're not doing it every single day. They might do it sometimes, but they don't make it consistent. I remember when I was learning how to play guitar or when I was trying to get in shape for the first time, like when I was in high school, I had to do it every single day. And it made me who I was. This was the identity that was formed. And then the alignment was to follow. Now, I think about the observation that happens when we're trying to understand ourselves, right? Because typically, when you're trying to become aligned, it's not something where you're just like, okay, boom, I'm aligned, right? When you hang a picture, there is a 50-50 chance that the picture is going to be perfect. You put it there, boom, it's perfect. Well, I've hanged a lot of stuff up in my house, and there's things that are crooked today, and there's things that are not crooked. Now, like things like mirrors and pictures, I think they're all level. I have kids, and it's very possible that they touched them, and they're not level anymore. But when I put them up, they were level. Not because I said, okay, cool, you're level, but because they got a physical level, and I put the level on, and I made sure that little bubble was right in the center, and I could say that you are level now. Now, what I notice is that sometimes the art frames, the wood is warped because of the way they stapled it or whatever. So even though the picture is level, if you look at the picture from the outside, like looking at the picture, it looks like it's crooked. And you have to ask yourself, I did all this work to align. I got the tools. I did everything that I wanted to do. Think of it, the mindset now, right? You get a coach, you do the work, you feel as if you're in alignment, but something still feels wrong. What is this to say about what alignment is? Now, I think what happens with alignment is that people misunderstand what alignment is. People think that alignment is going to be everything that's going to make them happy. Well, I wish alignment was that. I wish people can just say, okay, I'm aligned. I found the person that I'm aligned with. I found the job that I'm aligned with. My kids are aligned with me. My friends are aligned with me. But let me tell you something about the world. The world is not about everything being in alignment in accordance to you is about you understanding that you're just a part of this mismatched or warped world. Now, I say this because going back to the example I gave about the spice, I was living exactly what I thought I was supposed to be living. No spice. I added some spice to my life. Now everything starts to taste different, right? My taste buds started to mature. In life, we become more mature. That alignment that we had, we think is a straight line, right? Alignment is typically a straight line. Now that straight line can typically, be parallel, and it's usually level on the surface, using the word surface again. But what if we change alignment to be more at an angle? And we can say it's at a 45-degree angle, which is extremely slopey, right? Like it's a rough angle to be at versus a 20% angle or something, right? Or 20-degree angle. This idea of a 45-degree angle is talking about, hey, we mean growth. When we're talking about the straightest line that can be up to where we want to be. Not everyone's going to be at that 45-degree angle mark, right? Some people are going to have a hard time getting there. Some people might have to start at 5% and they make slow progress. And I'm talking about after their New Year's resolutions or after the year has gone by, they look back at their year and they have accomplished very little bit. And it's not because that they didn't want better for themselves or that they didn't know their values or that they didn't know their identity. It's because they are in alignment with something that is not truly theirs. Because the world is going to tell you a lot of things that you need, right? And you're going to be telling yourself a lot of things that you should be doing. Now, if you're not making the choice actively every single day to say, hey, I'm doing this is going to get me the results. For example, if you eat a bunch of cheeseburgers, you're going to gain some weight. Okay. Now, if you go to the gym, typically you will lose some weight. This is, of course, with proper diet, a good workout routine. So things have to be in place. It's not so much of, well, I go to the gym every single day. I eat a salad every single day. I talk to my mom every single day or my dad every single day or my spouse every single day. We should have a good relationship or I should have better results. No. It's not about just simply doing a task. It's about doing it with intention, true intention, because I can do things half-heartedly, half-ass everything. I can kind of do this and I can kind of do that. And all of a sudden I can get to a place where I said, I've been doing this for so long and I'm not seeing the results, but I haven't truly entwined myself in what I wanted to do every single day, like truly doing it. And I mean, I can look at examples, and I already gave examples in the past episodes of the podcast about guitar, right? Where I was like learning how to play guitar. I did it every single day and I got really good, really quick. Imagine if you did that in any area of your life, your relationship, or maybe your workplace or your business, like you truly gave 100%. Now, I remember there's a video and he was talking about how in 6 months, if you gave yourself the alignment to do something or the intention to do something, and you gave 100% of yourself toward that mission, in 6 months is all it would take for you to be a radically different person. But along the way, in the 6 months, we take a day off. We say it's a rest day. We say it's a cheat day. We say it's a day where we are just overwhelmed that we can't think about what we have to do. So we say our alignment or our values or our focus or our motivation is lacking. So we just aim small. Well, we're not even consistent in that because we do it haphazardly. One moment we're doing this and one moment we're doing that. And before you know it, we have developed a behavior that is not beneficial to our goals. So whatever goal you have, because alignment is not just about me telling you what your goal is, you should understand there's a process to accomplishing your goals if you haven't already, because you might be in a career flipping fries at McDonald's. Maybe that's your calling, right? But maybe it's not. Maybe it's not your calling. Maybe it's a temporary step for you on your journey of life. But just because it's a temporary step, it doesn't mean we need to stay there for 15 years. All right. Because maybe we have this idea of being on the fast track to be a manager. And maybe we say that life is going to be good enough. What if I say in life, good enough is not good anymore? The perfection that you want is possible. I say this as just a seed for your mind, because it's not about perfection. It's about consistency. You don't have to do something perfect every single time, but you can do something every single time and do the best you can. I say that you might not be at 100%, but can you give me 100% of what you got? I think of the gym. The gym is the easiest example I can think of. It could be relationships as well, parenting, but I think the gym is the easiest one to understand. Some days you might not feel like going to the gym. I don't feel like going to the gym every single day. Just because I don't feel like it doesn't mean that I don't go. But when I don't go, I understand myself. Okay, this is where I am right now. I don't have 100%. What do I got? I got 50. Okay, what can I do? Well, I can do this workout really good. I can do that workout kind of good. I know my form is not going to be right for this workout. So I'm thinking about all the things that I can do well. And then I just figure out a way how I can get through it. I remember it was just the other day, actually. I went to go do my day one workout. It was a leg day and all the squat machines were taken. And I was like, okay, the squat machines are taken. I can't do my squats. I can't do my deadlifts. And of course, they have machines where I could have gone to and I could have done some machine squats and some machine deadlifts. But then I said, you know what? There was something I haven't been doing for quite some time, because I've talked about it in January. I was like, I'm recovering from some stuff from last year, from like a shoulder thing. I slept wrong and it just caused all this pain and migraines, and it was ridiculous. I was like, this is ridiculous, number one. And I remember going to the gym after I felt like sort of good, because I was going to the chiropractor and he did this adjustment on me. And I was like, okay, I feel good. I feel like I'm back to normal, right? Everything's aligned, right? Everything is good, right? It's back into place. Well, I worked out my shoulders and I worked them out real good, just as if nothing has ever happened with that injury. And sure enough, the headaches came back, the migraines, and I was probably in worse shape than I was when I walked into that chiropractor's office. And I said to myself, really? Like, I can't even work out my shoulders for a period of time. And I remember bringing it up to my chiropractor. I was like, yeah, I did this and I was in so much pain. And he goes, yeah, I would recommend taking some time and just allowing things to be. And I was like, okay. But in my mind, I was like, I got to work out my shoulders because my shoulders make you look good. And I was like, okay, cool. I was like, I don't mind doing light shoulders. So I basically made new workouts for myself and I did light shoulders. And even the chest, I was like, okay, I'm going to do light chest as well, because I didn't want any agitation on that muscle, right? So I was just allowing it to rest, doing my stretches that were recommended by the chiropractor, doing my massaging and everything to like alleviate what was going on or what had went on, so I can recover and I can be back to normal, right? Get back into alignment. And on that day, when I went to go do my day one, all the machines were taken. And I said, I could wait and I could just continue with my day one. But then I said, you know what? It's been some time. It's been almost 3 months since everything has come and gone. And I think my shoulder had rested quite enough. And I said, let me see where I'm at right now. So I began to work out and I said, okay, this is fun. This is cool. I love shoulder workouts. I love shoulder workouts. Maybe my favorite right now. I think my favorite workouts are this: shoulders, and then maybe it's a tie between biceps and triceps and back, and then chest, and then legs. But what I will say is that I'm enjoying legs quite a bit right now. And I would even say that I enjoy doing legs more than I enjoyed chest and back, even though I rated chest where I did and back where I did, because back was my favorite workout. Shoulders right now are just like something that I love. And I can say this because I missed it because I couldn't have it. How many times in life do you miss something that you never had or that you once had? It can happen frequently because there's always going to be a next stage. There's always going to be a new development in your life. And you have to understand that these changes, right, they're not necessarily permanent. This idea that nothing is going to change in your life unless you do. So alignment, right? You have to understand, okay, well, if I need an adjustment or if I need to align something in my life, if you're going this way and you're not making any changes, you're always going to keep going the same way. I'll talk about the plane aspect or analogy, where a plane can be going from one place or one location to another. maybe it's 1,000 miles in between the distance. If that plane is at 1 degree off, remember I was talking about slopes and everything? If is 1 degree off, you're going to end up in a totally different location. Of course, it's not going to be maybe crazy far, but you're not going to be at your destination just with that 1 degree. So as the plane is progressing to wherever its location, sometimes the pilot has to make a course correction and adjustment by a degree because the wind pushed the plane a certain way or whatever it be. And if we don't have that course correction, then we're going to have a hard time figuring out where our true alignment is. Now, we can learn to plan, visualize, and prepare, but our actions have to match our direction. Because if we are progressing towards something and we're not doing the things that are going to help us get the results or to get to the location, we can't complain that we don't have the life that we envision for ourselves or the life that we want to have. I can only imagine of a person saying they want to be rich and famous and they're literally in their home on their phone, not doing any recordings or not talking to anybody, and they're getting all their food delivered and they don't show their face outside. Maybe they can be famous, like if they're like a serial killer or they do something negative, but the idea of like them being pronounced, nobody knows who you are. And right now, our world is definitely focused on this idea of being prolific and being prominent. But what I will say is that even if you attain this level of success and wealth, I mean, if you're not in alignment, you're not going to be able to do it long term, or it's going to be something that you dread to do every single day. Imagine to give yourself a job or a role or position that you hate. But then again, it was something maybe you thought you desired. So at some point, you have to do the work. At some point, you have to figure out what you want to do every single day. What can you do every single day? Because if you can do it for a moment, sure, that's great. But if you can do it for a lifetime, now we're talking. And in this article, The Power of Alignment, how your daily actions reveal who you truly are. Because you can be a hero. You can be someone who can be a go-getter. You can be someone who wants to be successful, someone who is family orientated or super disciplined. And if you can be aware of all of these things and you can understand the fluctuations of you being human, some days are going to be super motivated. Some days you might be unmotivated, and some days you might have nothing in the tank. And this is not to say that if you have nothing in the tank, you're doing something wrong in life. This is just how the mind is or how the body is. It's going to fluctuate. Think about it. Have you ever felt bad in your life? Maybe you had a cold, a flu, a COVID, or whatever it be. You were like, whoa, I'm down and out, right? You're coughing, you're sneezing, you're suffering. And then all of a sudden you're back to normal. But then when you're back to normal, you're pushing yourself because you can see the low when you're sick, but can you see the high when you're good, when you're normal, when everything is in alignment or everything is kind of just on track? And if you can't understand that when you're at that surface level bit, wherever you are, whether it be like that low surface, that medium surface, or that high surface, if you can't elevate yourself, you're going to drown in your life. There's something that's going to just drown you. It's going to encompass you. It's going to engulf you. And you have to seek the higher ground. And that's the success that you can be living, right? That alignment that is truly yours. Now, like I said, I don't know what you want in life. I don't know you. Maybe I do know you, right? Maybe you're a client. Maybe you're a friend. You're a family member. Maybe I know some of the things that you're in alignment with. But if you're just a regular listener to the podcast, you haven't reached out, I don't know what is yours or what you would like to attain. Now, of course, you can say what you want in the comments. You can reach out for a consultation. You can tell me what you're looking for or what you would like to attain, and then I can learn more about you. But the reality is, most people don't even know what they want in life. They're facing all these patterns of uncertainty, of contradictions, and of false desires that it's hard to understand what they truly want. They can't define it. But what I'm here to tell you today is what you do consistently, every single day even, is going to maybe be the testament or the choice or the direction where you're going to head into. Now, sometimes the directions that we're heading into might not be exactly what we want, but we're doing what we do every single day and we're getting these results. And maybe we're doing something every single day and we're expecting different results. It's like the idea of insanity. Like you keep doing something again and again and you're expecting different results. So if you're not getting the results you want, you have to do some level of change. Sometimes it's drastic. Sometimes it could be minute. I don't know where you are. But if you are curious about where you are, I encourage you to reach out to us, revenconcepts.com, get yourself a consultation, learn more about yourself or what is going to make you into true alignment. Of course, I want you to check out this article where you can be learning about the power of alignment, how your daily actions can help you truly understand who you are. Now, it's not going to be a magic pill where you read this and then all of a sudden you are going to just be in alignment. Sometimes you have to do the groundwork. You have to lift up the roots that were and once were or once was. And you have to say, okay, I need new roots that are going to help me grow even stronger. Because if you are planted in the wrong location, let's say in between the cracks of cement or in the sand on the beach, it's not enough. We need a strong ground to plant ourselves in, a strong foundation. And from there, we can see immense growth, immense transformation. But in order to accomplish that, we need to know many things about ourselves. So don't be afraid to learn more about yourself, to learn about your desires, your wishes, and your endeavors that you would like to partake in. It's not going to be an easy trip for everyone. Some people it could be a breeze because you might just be doing things every single day and you only have to change that 1 degree. But then sometimes people have to do that 45 degree, or they have to maybe even do something even steeper, like a 55 degree or a 60 degree. That right there is going to be extremely challenging. I don't know if you've ever done an incline walk on the treadmill, especially if you start to go up 4.5 miles an hour with a 15% or like a 15 incline. That's tough. Imagine that in life now. And you have to do that consistently. Of course, you can plateau and you can level off and you can kind of say, okay, this is where I feel comfortable. You can do that. But if you're really trying to push for something, keep on climbing, keep on aiming. Find what your alignment is and keep on doing it every single day.